ask that we all bow our heads for a moment of prayer, keeping in mind the passing of our former fire chief, our former mayor, and our former councilman, Mr. Baker, who served this community very well. He set the bar very high for those of us who he's left behind. So in your moment of silence, please keep him in your prayers. Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Councilman Belcaro.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
Here.
Council President Pryor. Mayor Mengucci.
Here. Need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion.
Can you hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Katrina?
Council is in executive session for approximately 1 hour. The topics of discussion are as listed 1 through 6 on your agenda. The minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to have Dylan Klein recognized. Dylan, if you want to come up front, just in front of the rest of the council. I want to thank you for completing your Eagle Scout service project with the 13 bird and bat houses at the Lopatcong Municipal Park. So looking forward to seeing what comes in and out of those bat and bird houses. Really appreciate your efforts. I was called to an Eagle Scout meeting out, back in December, where I had to speak. So I learned something about the Scouts. I was never a Boy Scout myself. Our former mayor, Doug Steinhardt, was. It was very enlightening for me, and it was also very uplifting for me to know that not only yourself, but other fine young men that have joined the Scouts. So it gave me some encouragement that, that we're not all bad kids. I've always said that with my job as the director of facilities for the Phillipsburg School District. I see kids all day. I see them from preschool right on through graduation, and I'm a little bit tired of talking about the bad kids. We have a lot of good kids around, so I think it's time that we start concentrating on them, and I want to thank you for your efforts for what you did up there in our park. So congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming out tonight. Just wanted to acknowledge your efforts. So, and that is your mom, I'm going to take it you have with her? You got a fine young man there, so you should be very proud of yourself. Thank you. Do we have any public comment on agenda items only? John?
Yes. My name is John Betts. I live at 225 Red School Lane, apartment Y14 over in Breakley Gardens. Once again, I'd like somebody to explain what this establishing a cap bank is. I also have another item, which is the cancellation of unexpended balance in capital ordinance 216-5 to capital fund balance in the amount of $58,632.15. And then that goes back here to the next ordinance, number 19-06. First reading to repeal ordinance 2005-20 and delete section 185 of the code.
Kim, can you answer the first two?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The first one, that ordinance cancellation?
Yes.
That's unspent money that was left in the ordinance and the
Okay.
project was complete.
Okay, and what happens to that money after it's unspent? What happens?
It goes back into
The general fund.
Well, no, it goes back to fund balance or surplus, whatever you
Okay, so then that to go back, then that could be carried forward over here into this capital ordinance situation, capital fund balance, is that
Are you looking?
here? Capital spend balance, capital ordinance fund.
Yes, that's what it would go
It
with.
goes over into that.
Mhm.
Well, thank you very much. And the third one is just that repeal or delete section 185 of ordinance 200520. I don't know what that is, but
That is an ordinance that was deemed invalid by the courts, not our
Okay.
particular ordinance.
Yes.
Ordinances in general, so
Yes.
we got an email, a letter from the prosecutor's office asking us to remove it from our books.
Oh, I see. So it was in the books, but it's just was taken back out of it. Okay. And the
Wasn't being
importance there.
enforced, so
So, okay, so it wasn't really all that necessary.
we just needed to remove it, yep.
Okay.
I didn't answer yet. First one, the cap bank.
Yeah.
It's not a bank with money in it. The easiest way I can explain that is really like a safety net for us, because sometimes the Division of Local Government Services will switch appropriations from in cap to out of cap, and that's just our buffer. They did it several years ago with the health benefits, where they were out of cap and they moved them in cap. So that's what it is. I don't think we've used our cap bank in the last...
Nope, you're well under both caps.
Yep. So,
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Agenda items only. All right, in old business, the minutes for the executive and regular sessions for January 2nd, 16th, and February 6th. If everyone's seen those and had a chance to read them, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
Have a second?
Second.
I'm going to roll call that. Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes for the 2nd and 16th, abstain from February 6th, I was not here.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Number 2 is ordinance number 2019-03, second reading and public hearing to establish a cap bank. Need a motion to open a public hearing?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Folks, questions, comments on the cap bank? Seeing none, motion to close?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under new business,
Motion act?
motion act, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Motion.
Second.
And I'll roll call that. Councilman Delcaro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci?
Yes. Under new business, the 2019 budget discussion. Kim, I'll turn that over to you.
thank you. And I have John Mooney here also. You were emailed, and in your packet is the numbers for the 2019 budget. We've met several times, the mayor and I met several times along with Councilman Pryor, and we feel that we've put together and the departments requested things that were fiscally sound. There is some increases that are kind of out of our control, one being pensions dictated to us. Also, too, one of the big things was we increased our debt service, and that was one of the things we wanted to do from last year because we are trying to pay off those solar panels. And since we had some extra funds, we wanted to apply it to that. And also, your reserve for uncollected, because of our collection rate and everything that was happening last year, is following us this year somewhat, so that was definitely an increase of like $300,000. I don't know if you want to add anything. When we put it together, it comes out to a 2.4 cent increase for the 2019 LopatCong budget.
And on a $250,000 home?
231, give or take.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about $60 annually.
Okay, so it's $5 a month.
Yeah.
So,
And we know that the county is going down,
yep.
both in open space.
So when they go down, meaning what, if this rate?
Well, their rate's going to go down if we, so essentially you may not see an increase in your bottom line, period.
All over, because everybody's looking at the bottom line.
So,
Right.
They're not looking at municipal share, they're looking at what's going to cost me out of my pocket.
No, I understand that, but I'd like to know,
yeah.
with the county, you're saying that it's going to be flat?
Open space is going down from 3 cents to 2.5 cents,
Okay.
and their overall budget is going down, I think it was about approximately 500,000. So they're not flat, they're actually decreasing.
Okay.
Okay.
And then,
I've been in email contact with Councilman Pryor. He had a lot of questions. I know he wished he could be here, but he feels that we achieved his goals. We reduced the reliance on surplus from the sewer. We've increased our debt to pay down some of those bans that we discussed last year. Our fund balance, we started out about $1.8 million this year. We're using about 700,000, so it gives us a little over $1 million, which is, he was saying that's right on with the policy, maybe even extra. So he was okay with the 2.4 cents. Because he said, he mentioned you specifically that, we like to be around 2, but,
Yes.
yeah, see? And he said, no, I'll go with the 2.4. So he was all right.
I think for $5, $6 a month, this is a very responsible budget, considering the county would be going down. So I know last year my total tax bill went down $13, but it didn't go up. So, and that's rare these days. So we've gotten some roads paved, we're paying down some debt. I think, John, you would agree we're heading in the right direction. Anytime you get some roads done and pay your debt down and raise your taxes $5, $6 a month, I don't know if anybody's going to argue with that. So
And your reserves are better than they have been in a long time.
good.
Yeah. And we know more we're going with the bridge project. We're getting a lot of fees in, and they actually came in 2019. So we know, looking at it, we will generate.
And we really don't know what the end result's going to be for us as far as the forensic auditors, or
No.
we just don't. So
We're just going through. We haven't received any insurance money yet, but we're still reconciling accounts
Okay.
at this point.
all right, so we may be in better shape even after that. So
Schoolness, education.
I just asked. They don't know yet what their rate's going to be.
yeah, okay, all right. Anybody else have any questions? Kim at all?
Oh, yeah. I would like to, if everyone is on board with this, I'd like to introduce and have a special meeting in March and adopt in April, which follows the regulations of the Division of Local Government Services, so we, can check yes to that the best practices questionnaire of do we introduce and adopt on time. That's my goal. I don't know if anybody is opposed to that up here.
I'm
Just
not.
like to get it going quicker than we have in the past.
The only thing is we don't know how many roads we want to do this year.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
We can put an estimate in. The capital budget itself is just a plan, so that's really not.
Would you like to have a budget workshop in March?
I would like to have an introduction in March.
No workshop.
The regular meeting.
Second on special meeting.
Okay, not a special meeting.
Yes, a special meeting.
A special meeting.
Yes, a special meeting. Don't want to wait till April, because then that puts us behind the 8 ball again. I'd like to get the numbers in, so, the departments have their numbers to work with. Because right now,
We
we're working
wouldn't
on
be able to
temporary
do it
budget.
at the April meeting because we wouldn't have enough time to.
No, well, we were thinking the 20th of March. That's the only Wednesday.
Right, I mean, the
Could we get all that done? Yeah.
Yeah, we can, if we introduced on the 20th of March, you just have to wait 28 days until you can adopt.
that's what I'm saying, so at the April meeting, you'd have to have a special April
If
meeting.
this-
Yes, we would. That's
So
what
it'll
I'm
be 2
asking.
special meetings, yeah.
Okay, that's something we could do 4 o'clock in the afternoon if we're just, if everybody's in.
Yeah, for the introduction, yeah, because there's no public hearing, it's just introduced. Yeah.
Okay,
You are not eligible to self-examine your budget this year, so the whole document goes down to Trenton. They do a thorough review.
That's scary.
Hopefully, it's early enough where if we get it in the 20th of March, we'll get it back in time, but we'll worry about that at that point. We've been pretty consistent getting it back from them, like the day before the meeting, to adopt.
Oh, yeah, right, we're sweating it, right?
Yeah,
You get
yeah.
that
Wish
email.
there was a box that said we introduced it on time, however, you didn't get it back to us.
Yes.
We
So
did it
at
on
worst,
time.
you would hold the hearing that night, or you would hold public comment that night, but you couldn't take action on it until you got the okay from the state.
so as you can see, folks, we're in a lot better shape than we've been, which is a good thing. I'd like to thank Kim for, putting this budget together, and for all that Kim went through, and Beth, and Phyllis, and everybody else, Jenny, in that office last year, because of what happened with the tax collector. We've weathered the storm, and we've come out the other side in far better shape than we've been in a while. So it's a good time to be up here. I'd like to get things done. I like to try and hold down the costs. It's just nice to see things back somewhat civil to where they were before. So that's what we're here for. I think we're all here to serve. So anyway, I'd just like to say that. And one other thing before I move on, because I did forget, Dylan, I apologize. You donated $34.52 back to the township from your Eagle Scout project. So not only did you complete a project, but you gave us some money. So again, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
So then I can go ahead and advertise March the 20th at 4.
It's fine with me. Everybody gonna be around?
You're good?
Okay.
4 o'clock?
Yeah.
4?
Maybe we can,
4:30 is good too?
we'll wheel Joe in.
By the time I get home?
That's fine. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, we can do that.
Maybe he'll be well enough then to attend. I know
He said about 3 weeks, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's shouting a little bit. Yeah, we'll put him in the back of the truck, bring him in.
You just see they're coming with a walker. Maybe I'll know.
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
You won't be able to drive, but maybe it's...
Well, it's just going to be short meetings, so we need,
You by phone, can you?
you know.
We were comparing stories.
Okay. All right. Number 2 is to authorize increase in pool memberships, daily rates, camp rates, pool pavilion parties as suggested. Anybody have any questions on that at all? I know Joe had some questions to keep it a little more uniform than what it appears. He also had questions on college kids in town and out of town being the same. And I think he had a question on the seniors from other areas as to why we would give Powhatan residents the same advantage as we would our residents. So
Well, our seniors...
those were his concerns.
Whether they're resident or not, have always been the same price since we broke that out. And I followed the same kind of thought process with the college students. I don't care, you know, where you are in college, you know, you're broke. It used
Broke
to
when you
be-
come out, too.
It used to be included in the family membership, so we took it out, because we are trying to, you know, increase our rates a little. Our daily rate hasn't changed since Orville Smith operated the pool many years ago for residents. It was always $5. 20 years with us running it, it's got to change, so we're going to take that up at the moment.
Absolutely. Okay.
So everything is, you know, everything's increased by, you know, very little, so we're just trying to cover costs, and, you know, the rates, the minimum wage is going up for...
Yeah, I was going to say, we've kept that minimum rate changing.
So we had to work
Okay.
that in, and, but like I said, everything is as minimum as we can get it, because we want everybody to enjoy
And I
our
understand
community pool.
Phillipsburg is closing, do we know that for a
No,
fact?
I doubt it. They put that
No?
splash thing in, you know, they invested money in it. I
Okay.
really doubt it.
All
I
right.
didn't get that when I checked.
Okay. Number 2, we're going to table.
Everything.
Well, first of all, we're, a motion on number 2?
I'll make the motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay, I'll roll call that. Councilman Del Caro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes. Number 3 is ordinance number, are we going to table that, right?
Mr. Pryor asked if we could table that.
Okay. Anybody else have any objections to table on number 3? No? So all in favor?
Do we have a motion in a second? The table,
I'll make the motion.
So a second?
and all in favor, that's it.
All right, number 4 is ordinance number 2019-05, first reading to establish new hourly minimum wage rates for pool and recreation program employees.
And this just mimics, you know, Governor Murphy's new law, where those changes have to be made. Previously, we didn't have to follow New Jersey's minimum wage law, we could follow the federal rate, but Murphy, now it says no longer, we have to follow New Jersey's recommended, you know, minimum wages for everybody, so.
Okay.
And it goes up in July, right?
Starts out at $8.85, in July it changes to $10 an hour, and every January it will increase $1 till it gets up to $15.
Thank God for the governor's office. All right, have a motion on that?
Motion.
Have a s-
Councilman Del Caro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Mengucci.
Yes. Gentlemen, there are 69 items on the consent agenda. Does anyone have anyone that they want to pull? Everybody in agreement? Are you good? You good?
Okay.
All right. Have a motion on the consent agenda.
Make the motion.
You a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Yes. Councilman Belcaro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Mayor Musician.
Yes. Council reports. Mr. Polito?
I think just one item regarding LAA. The current bylaws will be on the website upon approval of revisions.
Okay, that's it. That's it? Luke?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. There was a meeting held in February with Ms. Dilks and Brian Weeks and Dan Matting. Discussion was about Greg Seaman from O&M Solutions, and that is to, would they inspect manhole covers throughout the town every 2 years. And they also do, part of the contract is jetting of the lines and cleaning the wet wells. So they're just reviewing its contract and obligations to it, correct?
Yeah, we just met with our wastewater management operator, who again is O&M Solutions, to go over, what it is that we expect from him when he's up here weekly, and the monthly reports that we, he has to provide for us to make sure that he's giving us the information that we are looking for. So we just had to tweak him a little bit.
And then the second thing I have is the Roseberry Street meter. CFM Construction has been given a purchase order to install the new meter. So it's been ordered. It should be within 2 to 3 weeks. And if everything goes fine, take a couple of days. However, if a new conduit is needed, then it'll take probably another day. So by April, this new meter should be up in operation on Roseberry Street.
Obviously, we'll be getting better readings on our sewer flow.
Well, more active reading.
Yep.
And then we can, actual readings for
Right.
that. I don't know how Dan's going to actually go back and do that, but he has a way of doing it.
And that concludes my report.
Mr. Wright?
It's gone much too much, so I don't know. Sorry to say.
I hope you had a good time. So, I personally just want to thank Brian and the road crew. I thought they did a pretty good job this past week. Having kind of the same duties on a much smaller scale, it's been a real pain in the neck this winter. It's been a lot of nuisance storms. I personally have gotten minimal complaints about anything. So you're always going to have those people who are never satisfied. So, but anyway, my thanks to you. One more comment from me anyway about Mr. Baker. Mr. Baker's time here on council spanned, I think he was here like 18 years. It encompassed him serving with my father and also with myself. And back in 1999, I chose not to run for mayor because I just didn't want to appear power hungry. And Mr. Baker was a good guy. Mr. Steinhardt did run for mayor that year, and he won. Mr. Baker came back the following year, and I'm sitting here thinking like, oh boy, here we go. He could not have been more of a gentleman along with Mayor Steinhardt. And we were all together for the next 12 years, which is probably something you're not going to see again anywhere. But I always knew him to be very helpful. Anytime you engaged him in conversation, he would do his best to correct whatever it was you were asking him about. And just a gentleman. He'll be missed. I'll miss him. What more can you say? The guy served as he served as a coach, he served as a councilman, he served as a mayor, he served as a firefighter. So if we could all emulate that type of giving back to this community, I think we'd all be better for it. But just a real gentleman, and he'll be missed. He was a very simple guy, a good family man. His wife had a stroke probably 10, 12 years ago, and Bill took care of her the whole way until now. So just my thoughts and prayers to Shirley, to Dave and Bill Jr. Just a good guy. I'll miss him. That's it. All right. Paul?
Mayor, I have nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Wow. I see the Baltimore Street Improvement Project. We're going to approve the advertising for the public bids. We did that with the consent agenda.
Correct.
So that whole thing, by the time we advertise, get bids in, what are we talking about for Baltimore Street? October?
As far as starting construction, it would be just after Memorial Day.
Okay, good.
And it's about a 60-day time frame. So given that, we'd be looking at getting the job done during the summer,
Okay.
before school starts.
Good. So folks, the Baltimore Street Baja will be fixed this year. It's been a mess for years. Just something else that we can check off. And we haven't heard anything on Red School Lane as far as our grant?
Not yet.
Okay.
Supposedly on or about April 1st.
And there was 250,000 for that grant?
Correct.
Okay. So we're getting there.
And Paul, I have a question. Would that be enough to cover Red School Lane?
Probably
No,
not.
no.
No.
Okay.
I think the original
But
estimate,
it will help significantly.
yeah, I think you would give me a ballpark figure of around 500,000 to do the whole stretch. And we did one portion of it last year.
Correct.
So that's a very, very wide road. And for those of you who may be concerned, I think our intention is to strike that road so that it's just 2 lanes, because it's just too confusing right now. So you're gonna have a wide shoulder, but we're gonna stripe it such that, I think you've had some problems out there, right, Chief, as far as?
A lot of questions, yeah.
Yeah, so we hope to get that squared away too. All right, motion to approve department reports?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of bills? Need a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilman Polito,
Yes.
Councilman Wright,
Yes.
Mayor Mikucci.
Yes. Folks, question, comments? It's your time. John?
My name's John Betts. I live at 225 Red School Lane, apartment Y14. One question to you, Mr. Mayor, is, do you have any idea when the living board will be complete?
We need some people on our leveling board. Can we advertise for that, or?
We have 2 people now. We have, you pointed a woman last.
Right.
And we also have Gail Hicks, so they can actually hold a meeting.
Okay. We need one more. That was only a
Yes, you
3-member
do.
board, so we still need
Okay.
one more.
So, just one question, I'll ask it through the mayor to the clerk. Do you know if there will be one this month, or will that go on in the future further, or a month after that? or-
Phyllis is the secretary to that board, and she was
She
given the
gives you
contact information for this new person.
Okay.
So we're going to be reaching out to her, and
I don't think there's any
we just have to have a
business,
report.
other than the regular day-to-day. There's no
There's no
complaints
complaints.
pending, there's no violations pending, so there's nothing pending. So if you are going to appoint someone in the next 2 months, you might want to hold off and reorganize everybody at the same time.
Okay.
Okay, and then just one other comment on this, on the Red School Lane, around Brakely there, when it is redone, maybe it could be possible to make like a pull-off lane on the right-hand side, right before the entranceways.
I'm sure we can look into something like that.
Is that at all possible?
You're talking about having
Talking about turning lane going in.
turning lane into Brakely Gardens?
Yeah,
Yeah, we can take a look at that,
okay.
see if it's warranted.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, appreciate it. Anybody else? Matt, so you get up earlier?
Yeah.
Matt Johnson, 1103 Belvedere Road. I just want to know where we stood in terms of the sidewalk project.
Probably want to kind of give an update, and Matt was at the meeting.
Yeah, the council's been briefed as to the meeting that took place last week, and we had some discussions, and we're going to have another meeting to discuss what direction we're going to take with this project at this point.
And you were more or less in favor of the sidewalks?
Yeah, I just want to know where everyone else was kind of at. Just wanted to voice my opinion on it to you guys too. It's just,
Sure.
I think it's a good thing for the town to do. I mean, it's free for sidewalk from the grant, with the grant. I lived in Lopat my whole life on Anna Place until I bought a place on Belder Road, and I can tell you like how many times going eastbound, right, kind of in front of Frank's, but on the opposite side, I mentioned at the planning thing,
Yep.
like, if you just stood there for like 15 minutes and watched the amount of cars that take that bend and they're over that white line significantly too. And that's where most people are riding their bike and running and stuff. I used to ride my bike on that road plenty of times. And I can't tell you how many times I've almost got clipped. I almost get clipped taking my garbage can out now because of how far they are over. But I just think it would be silly not to do it, to keep kids, pedestrians, people off the shoulder essentially, and give them a sidewalk. Like, I just think it would just be so silly not to do it because some residents just don't want to shovel. That seemed to be the majority of the complaints was, one, they felt like their land was being taken away, which
I don't think most people realize that there's a right-of-way
no,
inside the curb there.
They don't, but
so.
then the other thing was snow. I don't want to shovel snow, but if everyone, like, if you ask all those people and why they bought their house, I'm sure they didn't look at it and go, oh, well, there's no sidewalk, so I don't have to shovel, so, like,
Yeah.
that's why I bought it. But, you know, I just think it'd be silly not to take advantage of it, keep people safe. There's a bunch of bikers, runners, you know, and the people who are against it too, like, I don't think they realize, like, we're not all gonna be here for the generations upon generations upon generations of Lopat residents, so, like, people thinking of it in the now, you know, I'd like to see them think about more in the future, because, you know, when people aren't gonna own their house for hundreds and hundreds of years. You know, some people are older and understand that they don't want to shovel, or, yeah, I know. I understand it, but.
There's a 110-foot sidewalk, I'd have to start shoveling that I've
I'm
never
sure
shoveled
that,
before.
I'm sure that stinks, yeah, but, you know,
Yeah.
if it's for the safety of people, I think you would agree.
And actually, you know, in regards to the kids, especially the kids in Delaware Park,
No, I know you said they mostly.
most of those kids,
Yeah.
really, the sidewalk should run, if I'm looking at it clearly, should run to my place and then stop.
Yeah.
Because most of the kids in Delaware Park, they're not gonna go to 3rd Street and then go in if they live in the 200 block of Aurora. It's just not gonna happen. They're all gonna dump down 4th Street, get the Aurora, get to Park Avenue, and then they're gonna walk up that way. I just don't see them going down. Personally, I walk up Belvedere Road. I haven't done it lately, which is why I look like I do, but, you know, it's, you know, there's something to be said both ways. And it's not a dead issue yet. You're absolutely right. It's not, I never say it's a grant to us, so it's not gonna cost our residents anything. You already paid for it, because anything that comes from the federal government is us. It's you, it's me, it's everybody in this room. So I never like that line, it's free. It's not free. If it's coming from the government, you've already paid for it.
Sure.
And then it's just up to the politicians at the federal level or the state level to determine where it's gonna go. That's all it is. So, anyway, it's not a dead issue.
Is there gonna be a vote on it? Is there a date on the vote? Anything?
No, there's no data as far as us voting on it at this point, but I would imagine we can't push this off forever.
No.
You know, so there's a time limit as to when we can say yes or no to the grant money.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Thanks for your input, Matt, appreciate it.
No problem.
Anyone else? Questions, comments?
Bonnie Hayford, Stockwell Avenue. I didn't hear what Paul said about Enmore Road and Oxford Road. When they're being done.
Soon, we awarded a contract tonight. I'm going to be sending the contracts out to the contractor tomorrow, and we'll be looking to get that project going in the middle of April.
Are they gonna have the curbing, do you know?
Yes,
They will.
there will be curbing installed on both streets.
I have a neighbor that wanted to know about that because it parks on the back lawn.
Correct, and Enmore is in very bad shape. A lot of it's,
Storm drain with the curbing
correct.
going
It
down.
will guide the water to the drains that we put in when we rebuilt Stokoe Avenue, probably. It's got to be
Yeah.
12 years ago now.
Terrific.
Yeah,
That drain really helped a lot.
Yeah.
Up front.
great.
Really good.
Glad to hear it.
Thank you.
2 more
Thanks.
weeks. So. Anyone else? Questions, comments?
I have a question for Paul. Maybe, talk about the sidewalks. Is it county, or might be a plan in place for speed reduction from somewhere in Belvedere Road approaching Roseberry Street?
Correct. The township has petitioned the county to do two things on Belvedere Road. One is to lower the speed limit in the vicinity of the Buckley Hill Drive intersection from 50 miles an hour to 40 miles an hour, and to push that 50-mile-an-hour speed limit further to the north and east. And the second thing is to establish a school zone on that section of Belvedere Road and allow the township to install flashing school beacons, which when flashing will push the speed limit down further, down to 30 miles an hour when they're flashing. So that has been approved by the county. We actually adopted a resolution tonight amongst the various consent agenda items that will be given to the county tomorrow morning. I have a meeting with the county engineer. So we're trying to get the county engineer to issue the permit so that we can start building the flashing school beacons.
Okay, and also reducing the speed limit.
Correct.
Right, so maybe within the next couple months?
Within the next 90 days, I would say.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyone else? I'll do. We have one other thing we need to do. We need to authorize Beth to advertise for a part-time position for cleaning here in the municipal building. So I'll need a motion.
Motion.
Motion is second.
Roll call that, Councilman Belcarro,
Yes.
Councilman Guido.
Yes.
Councilman Ray.
Yes.
Mayor Tucci.
Yes. Folks, anything else? Seeing none, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Thanks for coming out.